I think for the longest time when Xbox Game Pass was originally first announced, I was a little bit shooken up by it. I didn't know exactly what it would be, and I thought that all these negative things would come to fruition. Obviously, it might hurt the quality. A lot of these things that I originally thought ended up not happening and just being sort of, let me just point out this. Like, if you suffer from anxiety, right, and I do, trust me, it's something I've dealt with for over 20 years of my life. When you have stuff like anxiety, you go through things multiple times in your head, right? I want video games to be around for a long time because video games have actually helped my anxiety. Like, when I first had a lot of depression and anxiety, 20 some years ago, my doctor was like, well, do you play video games? And I was like, I kind of dabble with them because at that time I did. And then they suggested, play video games and help, kind of relieve some of that, and it did, and it's helped. And then my love of video games has only grown from that point. But the negative side of that is I love video games, and it's such a good hobby, and when we see stuff like this happen, like Game Pass, you worry about it. But now we're starting to see that not only is Game Pass really helping Microsoft in the industry, it's helping companies and games and all this stuff coming together, and that's a really good thing. Now, this news is news that is not going to be good for PlayStation fanboys. It's not going to be good for Sony because obviously when you have developers talking about Game Pass in a positive light, especially for games that were on PlayStation previously, you get the understanding of why so many people are kind of going to look into this as a negative thing. Now, for me personally, like I said, I do think that this is something that we're going to continue to see happen, and we're going to continue to see, exactly what in the world is going to happen in the future with Game Pass. Like, I think that Game Pass is going to continue to grow and things like that. But I do want to get into this announcement because it's something pretty much unexpected. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, your home of gaming news, all that kind of good stuff. Having a good time here. Please hit that like button if you're watching my video. I'm looking to get 100 likes on each of these videos, so if you guys can help me out, I would definitely appreciate that, and it would mean a lot. So thank you guys. Yeah, like I said, 100 likes isn't a ton, but it is kind of a start, I guess. So yeah, it would definitely be cool if you guys could do that for me. Thank you guys. Yeah, so anyway, like, one of the things that I thought was very interesting was the studio that makes Yakuza series. The studio director actually was praising Game Pass, saying that it contributed largely to the series' success in the West. Now, to be clear, it's kind of funny because Game Pass is something that really you can kind of see how all this stuff comes about and how it helps out some of these games. Clearly, when you have a service with like almost 30 million people in it, you could see why people would maybe take it seriously and why it would be a good thing for people. So the studio director talked about the massive success of this Yakuza series in the West in recent times and on Game Pass. In an interview with Twinfinite, series producer was asked about the success of the series in recent times, and ever since they decided to go multi-platform, which has been a fantastic thing, and to be honest with you, I think it really makes a lot of sense for them to do that, for it to be multi-platform. He says, in terms of audience, I think the West has especially increased. It's hard to tell if that's thanks to multi-platform or if it's because we changed the genre and protagonist from Yakuza Like a Dragon as a new series, or both. Personally, I do think subscriptions like Game Pass, allowing people to play the previous games over the years, have contributed largely to the increase in audiences. The Yakuza series gradually dropped on Game Pass. It debuted on Xbox consoles as a launch title on Game Pass, which were available to all subscribers on both PC and consoles. Ever since then, a new game has been made for multi-platform, including the upcoming Yakuza Ishin and Yakuza 8. The Yakuza series is also available to play now on Sony's Game Pass competitor, PlayStation Plus Extra. These games can also be played on Game Pass subscription through xCloud PC or Xbox consoles. Now, once upon a time, the sales of a franchise were so low that Sega started to stop translating them into English for the West, while they continued to release new Yakuza games. It wasn't until the launch of Yakuza 0, followed by Kiwami, in addition to Yakuza 6, that the series started to enjoy more mainstream success. So yeah, it's nice to see that the game is picking up. I actually played it not through Game Pass first, but played it through, I think it was a free PlayStation Plus game at one point, and I actually got the chance to play it, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. It's nice to see that they're able to kind of go out there and get this going. And yeah, love to see that a game is finding success. And there's a lot of detractors out there right now, right? A lot of people go, oh well, it's a success, but yeah, it got, instead of being played by this, it got played by 15 people or whatever. And it's such an ignorant type of thing to kind of look out there and say that. You know what I mean? There's almost 30 million subscribers, and even if you just tried it, I think it's well worth it, in my opinion, to go out there and go, oh hey, you know what, this is something that we're able to kind of try it. And if you look in this, because I saw this come across myself on Twitter with the Xbox Reddit, and the interesting thing here is, if you look at some of the comments in it, a lot of the comments say the same thing. That if it wasn't for Game Pass, they wouldn't have played it. A lot of other people played one of them through Game Pass and bought the other ones because they're on sale a lot or whatever. So yeah, I think that clearly Game Pass is helping in a pretty large way. At the end of the day, I feel like Game Pass has done some incredible things for a lot of games, and this is why we're going to start seeing even more games come over to the to the Game Pass side of things, and even maybe even PlayStation Plus. Like, just you have a built-in you have a built-in group of people there. That's the thing that I would kind of point out. It's like you have all these people that are just there available to kind of play this game, and and for the first time, it's just like, hey, you actually do get to play the game. You know what I mean? And that's been the most incredible part about this is, yeah, like people assume like, oh, well, it must mean that you aren't playing, buying any other games, blah, blah, blah. Well, for someone like me, I spend the money that I would have normally spent. I still spend that on video games. It's just usually other things. If something's in Game Pass, like, I don't really see the need, and people will go, oh, that's the downfall, right? Like, well, listen, especially Microsoft's first party, which never leaves, I don't really find the need to go out there and pick all that stuff up the way that I did before. And hopefully that makes you guys understand a little bit of where I'm coming from with this. It's like, it's not something that, oh, you wouldn't, because I did buy Forza Horizon 5, by the way. I think it really just comes down to the instance of what it is. Like Halo Infinite, I didn't buy that, and it wasn't like necessarily for any particular reason. It's just like, I'd already played through it. I don't plan on playing through the campaign again. The multiplayer is free to play, so to me, spending $60 on that when the multiplayer is already free and I already beat the campaign just wasn't something that I felt like I needed to do. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your opinion on this. A lot of people looking extra salty today. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.